This is maybe called In the Loop or The Loop. So I'm Charles.
I'm Isaiah.
This week's topic is You on Netflix. Do you want to explain the plot
So
in a
the
non-spoilery way?
the first season is about this guy called Joe.
Yeah,
He lives in New York and he sees this person in the library
in his
and
bookshop.
in his book sorry, the bookstore. There's a bit of a connection. And then you just think, oh, I might be innocent, and then get stalkery, basically. Good show, interesting show.
Yeah, I think it really plays up on some interesting themes of modern society. I think everyone has at one stage looked up a girl on social media at least once.
Huh?
Don't harm me, but what Joe does in the first series kind of takes it to new levels is the way to describe that. And I think one good aspect, really an aspect that is really good of the show is that kind of makes Joe relatable to the audience. I know you
Yeah, Joe's
dis
so relatable. There's like they make him not unrelatable. Like there's some in the first season, his relationship with the kid is what keeps him relatable in my eyes. Like there's two aspects that make him relatable to people mostly. In the first season, I'll say like everyone else around him is unlikable. First one, everyone around him's unlikable, so he doesn't seem as bad.
we can go into
Like
spoilers now,
everyone,
actually.
spoiler alert,
Yeah.
everyone that like his lives he kind of helps ruin, or he like potentially, this is a mega spoiler, he kills Peach like pretty. That's pretty soon in. That's
Well,
like
I
a
mean, her current boyfriend is the first one to die.
well, yeah, but nobody cares about him, Benji. But yeah,
Benji, yeah, shit.
Benji, he kills Benji. He's an awful person. No one feels bad for him at all.
And that's where the relatability comes into it. So at the end of the first episode, he knocks him out and puts him in the box. And that's where the sinister aspect comes into it.
Locked in the box. That's a major theme of the show.
But the way he kills him as well, it's not like killing him in a kind of brutal way. Would you say that?
Yeah, but it's still.
I mean, he poisons him. Well, gives him something he's allergic to.
He also didn't know.
I mean, he did tell him he was allergic to.
But he could have been lying. That's the mental gymnastics he went to. It's like, well, he could have been lying. I didn't really kill him. It's like, okay. The people really in the show aren't likable at all. So him doing what he does kind of is like a, well, it's kind of it's seen as like.
From love that he wants at his core. He is someone.
But he doesn't though. I never believed this.
You never believed the fact that
I never believed that this was all for love. I thought it was like
did it for love, and he wanted
absolutely
to
not.
improve
Absolutely
Beck's
not.
life.
No, he was all selfish. It was completely selfish. You can't say that he loves Beck after he literally had to stalk her to like get to know her properly and then try and go from there. And he kidnapped her boyfriend as well. I'm not having this. It's not real. It's just a myth. He's just like making it up. He just wants to. Well, in the second season, this will come back, obviously. So we can talk about that then. But first season, it ends.
So you don't relate to him at all in the first series
I relate to him like with
with Parko.
the kid. I think that was really like, and the abusive like thing. That was all sad. That was all like, oh, she's trying to get like off drugs and whatever, and get away from her abusive boyfriend. And that part was like, yeah, that's relatable. He's being like a nice guy there. He made him like a complex character. He's not a nice guy, but he's not like a completely like irredeemable guy. Obviously,
Yeah, he has. I think the way they kind of set Joe up in the first series is as someone who deeply cares for the people he loves and would do anything for them, but because of his past and the way he was raised, which is touched on more in the second series, he goes way too far with it, obviously.
I still disagree with you.
That he goes way too far with it, or that he's relatable in some aspects.
I think the second season shows though. Oh, do you want to talk about the second season now?
Yeah, so I mean,
okay. So should we rate the first season out of 10?
Yeah, it's a solid first series. I give it like a 7.
Wow, you're harsh.
That hard.
I was gonna give it an 8.5. I know 0.5s are dumb, but I'm gonna do it because I don't think it's a 9. But I think it's a really good show.
The second series, I prefer to the first series.
I disagree.
I'm not saying the first series is bad. I just prefer the second series a lot more because of where it takes the character of Joe, and that it doesn't. With a lot of shows, you see that the second series is often just a repeat of the first series in a different location or with slightly different characters. And I think with a great show, it takes the aspects of the first season and improves upon them and doesn't go ridiculous story-wise, like
It,
certain
it didn't go
CW
ridiculous. No, are you saying this
Riverdale.
season wasn't ridiculous? Because it was.
Okay,
Do you want me to-
so this series at the end of the first series, Joe kills Beck because Beck finds out that
And he frames the Dr. Nikki that
Yeah.
she was cheating on him with. This also helped make him a label, by the way, because Beck was cheating on him, so people did not like her.
yeah,
Obviously.
and his first girlfriend, who is hinted at through the entire first series, and it seems like Joe killed her, Candace, comes back and is alive and says that she's going to ruin his life and, well, not expose him, just make him see the error of his ways.
It's also worth noting, by the way, that we kind of glossed over. Joe has killed also other people.
Joe, all right, let's go.
He's killed a lot of people. He killed
so
Peach.
Peach.
He killed Benji, obviously.
Benji,
He killed Beck. He also killed some random guy that Candace cheated on him with.
Beck. Yeah.
He killed him.
The
So it's a lot of
record
people.
label
And he
guy.
tried to kill Candace. That's the record label guy. It's the same guy.
And he killed the abusive Parko's
Yeah, but that's
dad,
fine.
step, whatever.
That's fine, though. No one's upset about that.
Okay.
Whoa, that's not
Well,
an
he
issue.
was trying to kill Parko, so I guess that's okay.
He was an abuser. It's fine. I don't care. I don't feel bad for him.
Jesus.
What? No, okay. Oh, you're like, oh, it's okay he killed Peach, but he can't kill
I'm not
the
saying it's okay
abusive
he killed
guy.
Peach. I think the Peach thing is more complicated because Peach was.
Peach is gonna shoot him because he was trespassing on her property and he was being a weirdo. There's no way you're gonna argue that.
Because Peach was mentally ill.
Yeah, but he broke into her. He's the exact same as Peach, though.
I didn't pick up on that.
What are you talking about?
They literally are, aren't they?
Yeah, there's literally a shot in the thing where they're both.
Yeah, I know. I remember that shot. I
Yeah,
rewatched it last week.
Yeah, so how did you not recognize it? That's the point. It's like they're both really creepy about the person that they claim to love, Beck. That was the whole point. It's like they're really similar. That's what they hate each other as well. Because they both want Beck so much or whatever. That it's weird. Anyway, yeah, they're basically the same. So I don't know how you're
So
arguing.
going
like,
into the same love. So we find out in season 2, in the penultimate episode, Joe's run away from Candace. He's in LA, the one place that he told Candace and everyone he knows that he hates, and
he hates it because
set up a
everyone's
new
fake
life.
and stuff. Set up a new life and cool. He's real better than mine.
Better
The
life.
first episode of this was really good, by the way.
Yeah, it's a
I was
complete-
kind of worried that they would drop off. The first episode's actually amazing. Basically, first episode, it sets up Candace is here in the city with him, and she can report him to the police, but she's not going to for some reason. She wants basically the whole plan is to expose Joe to himself for who he really is or whatever. So that she keeps saying that he makes up all this love stuff about how it's about love or whatever when really it's not. It's just like an abusive thing, and that's basically the point. So in the end, he was spot on, but let's not talk about that.
So the first episode, it basically sets up that Joe is trying to change in LA, that he's not gonna.
But he's not trying to change because it was a
That's
bait.
later on. We're talking about
No,
the
it's not.
first
The
episode.
first season, in the first episode, literally shows like you think everything just like happens to come along with him and love, right? But you find out it's actually like him stalking her.
Yeah.
Not like everything was planned. Like it just, I didn't clock at the time until like they were building it, but it
They
made sense.
explained it.
Yeah, but like the whole thing was literally just like a lie. Again, so
I
even
think-
then they're showing that he's not really changing. He's still the same guy.
Yeah,
Even though I think that's a good hint that
he
he didn't.
kills less people this series.
Yeah.
He only kills one person.
No.
Yeah, he only kills the comedian guy.
No, he also killed the guy that tried to like cut his arm, cut his finger off.
Does that count?
No, I mean he did kill
I mean,
him.
yeah, obviously he killed a person.
Yeah,
Not great.
it was self-defense, wasn't it?
Self-defense, yeah. Russian mafia guy.
Just worth noting who he killed. Who like,
Objectively, he kills less people this
yeah.
series.
Okay, fine.
Indirectly, he does
Yeah,
also have.
this
killed
season
other
I think
people
did
killed.
get a bit. The LA thing was fun. I enjoyed the LA thing. It was like so nice to get out. I like New York as like a set place, but it's like clearly LA's. There's a lot
I
of
like
new
that it
stuff.
leaned into the stereotypes.
Yeah, but I feel like some of it was a bit ridiculous. Like not that the bit where like okay, this is a spoiler, but we already said that obviously.
You're way into
Him and 40, the 40 thing where he's like, I can't. What do he take? Like mushrooms or something?
LSD.
LSD, whatever. We're 40, and 40 like that entire section was so weird, and I don't. There was some parts that had a point and some parts that didn't. Like the bit where there's a safe word the whole time. That was like a joke, which is like ha ha ha. You could have just said to the security guy if you wanted to leave, but 40 literally jumped out of a window and could have died when there was like a word he could have just told them to let them go the entire time. That doesn't make any sense. It's so dumb. And so
Again, 40 is emotionally unstable
I know,
throughout the
but
whole
parts of
series.
it are just so like the first season had like convenient moments where like something would happen. It's like it's convenient that no one put together that Joe did it, and he framed the other guy, so fine.
Yeah.
And like no one, like when he's in the house with Peach,
Yeah.
and they don't see him the whole time, even though he's like some pills like had him messed up where he didn't know he was doing.
No, he had a concussion.
He had a concussion. No, was that what it was?
Yeah, because he crashed the car and had a massive cut on his head.
I thought it was because he had the things he took for that were messing him up as well. I don't remember.
Maybe they're just painkillers, so maybe. But he was dripping in and out of consciousness.
Yeah, that was bad. Anyway, when that happened, yeah, that was really like convenient that he managed the whole time. No one saw him until like the very end, and then he managed to like kill Peach when he was already like messed up and she was fine. Stuff like that. But this season it was like he's like right next to Love, which is intentional, but she doesn't ever realize that it's really close. He kills what's his name, Benji.
Not
Benji.
The comedian.
The comedian guy. I can't remember his name.
I'm looking it up now.
Hendy. It's Hendy.
Hendy, yeah. Well, there,
Yeah.
I don't have to look.
And no one put it together.
Well, because they didn't know he was there, which is the key thing.
But his blood was there. I know they were like, oh, he hid it. There's no way you could say that he hid everything perfectly. But that was messed up, that whole Hendy thing. That was really messed up.
Yeah, that was... Hendy is taking pictures of underage girls that he drugs. So, again, it kind of justifies Will/Joe's killing. He didn't want to kill him. He wanted to...
It wasn't an accident. He
wanted to expose him. And then Hendy broke free before he could finish filming the video. And then they got into a scuffle on the stairs and he fell down and hit his head and died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you think about it, he only directly kills one person this series.
Whatever.
Which is the Russian mafia.
No, he does kill... No, this is a dark... He killed him. You can't say he didn't kill Hendy. He did. It wasn't intentional, but it still happened.
It wasn't intentional, no.
I still can't be defending Joe so much, but listen, this season I think definitely showed that Joe was literally just a selfish guy, and it's not love at all. It's just him. I don't know. It's like a control thing. He just wants to know everything about someone, so he can like think he knows everything to do to control them. Basically, that's why I think
that's because of how the series ended, where he looks over.
I think that's partly that because his reaction. I think it's mostly from his reaction to Love, because you would think that they would be like perfect. They're like literally, basically it's like hit Peach again, but like even more. They're the exact same. They're very similar.
Wasn't a killer.
I know.
Which is
but Joe is. That's the point. Joe and her are the exact same person.
Yes.
So the fact that he's like, oh, now that he has someone that's on his level, he immediately hates it. He immediately hates it.
Because he doesn't view himself as
but
a bad
that's my
guy.
point. But my point
that
is
he's doing it for Love, and then.
But she's literally the exact same as him.
No. But then he is now seeing himself in Love as the audience sees him. So the audience sees Joe as like this passionate killer, which is like, oh, well, he's not great. He's still a murderer.
Yeah.
But like, he is then having that reaction to Love, and it's like...
Right, but my point is that he doesn't actually want that. Like he doesn't. He thinks that he wants someone to love him, but Love does love him, and he hates it. So it's like it doesn't add up, basically.
I think it's interesting how it kind of explores his past, his childhood, a lot more in this series than the first series.
That was a good part, but some parts of it were like I don't know.
Abandoned him. He had an abusive father who abused his mother and him, and who eventually he killed.
He shot him. Right. This is worth mentioning. I do not... How much does he remember of this? He remembers all this, right?
Well, yeah, I assume you'd remember...
How come none of this came up ever before? At all? Like, I know it's a show and stuff like that. No one thought of mentioning his childhood at any point that he killed someone. It never occurred to him. That never changed him at all, apparently.
Well, no one else knew.
Well, but it didn't change him as a person, apparently, either.
Well, it clearly did change him as a person, because he saw it acceptable to kill people to protect the ones he loved. That's just something he carried within the whole of his life. I don't
think that's what caused that. I still think... I don't know, maybe you're right. I think the childhood stuff, like, not the shooting bit. I think the abandonment thing, maybe, because he wants someone... So he can be like so in control of him that they would never abandon him like the other, like his parents did it, basically.
Yeah, objectively. Obviously, I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah, same.
But because of his abandonment, he knows subconsciously what it's like not to be loved. And that's perhaps the reason why he goes all in and wants to love someone as much as he possibly can and never abandon them. And that's why he takes the cheating from Candace and the cheating from Beck so badly, because he feels he's done everything for them. He's given them unconditional love, made their
Even
life
though
perfect.
he killed the friends of
Glossing over that.
yeah, which is pretty
explanation.
important, by the way.
But for him, he's like, this is how far I will go for you, and you've just betrayed me. He's not in control when he kills him. It comes out of anger both times. Well, no, he doesn't kill Candace, obviously. He just somehow doesn't kill her.
He does kill her somehow, but you thought he did.
Yeah, that it's like he can't handle this level of rejection for someone that they've put this level of effort into.
Yeah, but when it comes to love, he does love unconditionally, and again, he doesn't like it at all. It's not really what he wants.
Yeah.
He says that's what he wants, but clearly at this point, and also he comes to terms with the fact that that's not really what he wants in the pod. That's an important scene. But like the whole point was that like he did the self-analysis and he found out like this is not what I actually am. He figured out what he actually was. That someone that like abused people, and he did it for other reasons that to what he originally said he did. But then he just turns it at the end anyway. He doesn't actually change.
Yeah.
So now it's even worse because he knows it and he doesn't change.
I think it will be interesting what they do with the third series now, because he's going to have a kid, because she looked fairly pregnant.
Fairly? What do you mean fairly? She's very pregnant.
Alright, very pregnant. So I think we can expect that the child will be born in the third series. Is that fair enough to say? Do you think any time will have passed?
I think
that they'll be
I
like...
don't know. How much time passed? There's like a month's gap, wasn't there, between...
Yeah, a couple of months. How long does it take to get a book published? 6 months? 4 months?
A while.
A while.
I think...
Do you think that they'll come in and have maybe like a couple of years?
Ooh, I think that's far. I think it'll be like probably months again, but I also don't know. I also don't know at this point. Because I don't know what they're planning. I think the third season should be the last one, but I don't know. I don't remember if it is. Did they say it was or not?
Oh, they haven't said anything.
I think it should be the last one because I don't want it to keep. It's like Sexy's already getting a bit ridiculous. Like he's getting away with everything, and no one's like even considering him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see where the third series goes, because obviously a series can just fall off.
Mm.
Like a lot of series have fallen off. Riverdale fell off. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina also just
didn't watch that.
Fell off. There's starting to become a precedent with Netflix series where they'll have a decent to good first series that you're interested in another one, and then it'll completely fall off. So you rate this one lower than the first series?
I still give it like a 7.5, probably an 8 actually. I still like it.
I'm going to give it an 8.5
because I feel like it's hard to say. They were both really good, but
yeah.
Some parts of the second one were like the self-analysis of Joe was really good, but some parts of it were just like padding. I felt like the bit where he got with Delilah for no reason. It's like okay, cool, and the bit where the love reveal was cool. But it made everything else seem like irrelevant until then, basically. Like a lot of it just felt like it didn't matter.
Yeah,
and also
it was very good for Joe's development as a character. That he's not a one-dimensional.
Yeah,
I love this person. I'm going to kill people. You know.
Also, in the first one, it felt more like this was more like the time span of it made sense more than this one. Because like in this one, he like okay, so he like puts Benji in the box. Benji's dead. And then he actually tries to not kill someone for a while. But in this one, it's like, there's a guy after him for like a day, and he has his finger chopped off, and he's like just walking around doing stuff the entire time with his finger chopped off. It's just like, that's so ridiculous. Like, I know it's like, and they tried to play it off as like not a joke, like this is like a serious thing. It's like, how am I meant to like believe this at all? He's just walking around with his finger chopped off. And it's also, why didn't he just kill the guy the whole time? Like, he was clearly gonna have to do that. Why didn't he just do that from the start? Stuff like that.
He could have got the 50 grand in a day.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention Ellie. Ellie was one of the best characters.
Yeah.
Ellie was amazing.
Why?
Oh, and also, one of the random things they added in, where he was like, oh, if you see the 5 LA things, and you have to stay forever, which was like, if they introduced that in like the first episode, that would have been interesting. But they threw it all in one episode, and it was just so like convoluted. I don't know why they even bothered.
I think it's over 2 episodes.
I swear it's 2. I swear it's 1. I think he sees like 4 of them in one.
and he sees like one other one in one of the other ones.
Yeah.
It's like usually he's mentioned in like the first time he meets their friend, and then throughout the season he sees all of them, and it's like a subtle thing. Whereas they literally threw it at you. It's like, hey, here's the 4 things. Watch as he directly looks at them and then mentions, oh, that's one of the things. It's like, you didn't need to do that.
I think
It's
it
a
would be a
bit
better place if they were
uncertain.
just in the background and we knew about them earlier on. It's just like, oh, here's the burning palm tree. Oh, here's a dog in a stroller. Here's an
Yeah.
out of place
Dog in the
superhero.
show.
I can't remember the rest of them,
Yeah.
but
My favorite part was definitely my favorite episode was the drug deal one. Though that was my favorite. It was really just weird and interesting, and yeah, the blood on his hand bit where he couldn't stop washing blood on his hands. Obviously, we know what that's from, so it's not original, but it's still a nice visual still.
yeah.
And it shows that he does have, and also it was again a bit of like self-analysis. Like he does realize like he does have some guilt for what he's done. He can't just pay it off entirely like he tries to, as like for the greater good.
So finally, do you think that 40 would have worked it out?
Worked out what that Joe killed him.
That Joe is a murderer, whatever, that we established?
Well, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, well, do you buy that, though?
Yes.
And then, do you think he was always destined to die in this series?
40?
Yeah.
No. I feel like
Did it
40,
come as a shock to you when he died? Was killed by the police officer?
I mean, there was no other choice, really, was there? I mean, he kind of had to die once he figured out...
Yeah, Joe's secret. Will's
Yeah.
murderous past.
Yeah.
Present.
Once he figured that out, there was kind of no choice. It had to be done. It's hard to say.
Do you think Love would have killed him for Joe?
No, I don't think she would have. I think she loves him too much. I think the connection is stronger with... I mean, it's basically equal. And 40's been like... How much of 40's with her? Because at the beginning, you think it's like, oh, they really love each other. They're this. And then you find out, like, she does think he's a bit of a burden at times. And
Yeah.
she's upset that, like, her parents love him over her all the time.
Yeah.
Despite him constantly being, like, in trouble and stuff like that. 40 was a nice character as well. But it's just like, I don't know. At the end of the day, 40 figuring it out was interesting, but I did not like the change they did with Dr. Nicky at all. He changed... considering that the time span of this, how long was it? It was like a year max, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's no way I believe he went from like that in the first season to being like, oh, I'm all about forgiveness now, you know, I don't even want to be through, really. Like, there's no way I'm going to believe that, ever. I think that if they wanted to do that, should have like, maybe they should have dragged out a bit more and had 40 survive and then keep the secret, but like he doesn't tell anyone. And then next season, he tries to get him, but it's been like 2 years and he's completely changed. Like, at that point, I'd be like, maybe. But like, he literally did not care at all about his family when he was cheating on them. I know prison changes people, but like, are you telling me he wouldn't want to be free after that short amount of time? I'm not believing it.
So, I guess that's it.
40 getting shot was pretty convenient as well.
Convenient for Joe.
For the show. Like, they could have written something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought maybe 40 just keep it to himself because, like, I don't know why, but you keep it to himself for now would have been more interesting for me. Because then there would have been like, unless you're going to the 3rd season. For the 3rd season now, it's like, well, I mean, they've already done the whole will Joe move somewhere else thing, and then he's moving again, isn't he?
He's still in LA, so...
Yeah, but then they're like the suburbs now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they say? They're like, trying to get married and he has a kid and stuff. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think he's just going to leave Love? Are you going to abandon her and the kid and he'll go somewhere else? I don't think he could go back to New York and do that.
I think he's going to kill Love.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, do you think it's going to be a symbolic thing? Because Love?
Probably.
That's, yeah.
Just going back to his bookshop.
Oh, what happened to that Ethan guy? Was that his name? I want to see him again. He was a cool
Just
guy.
at the bookshop with that really annoying girl.
Blythe.
She was terrible.
Nah, she was fine.
So, watch it in coronavirus times. We strongly recommend it.
Also,
Rewatch
yeah. First season or second season?
Still second series for me.
First season.
We'll obviously watch them in order and then decide for yourself.
No, watch it from episode 5 to 10 and then 1 to 5.
It's not Star Wars.
Star Wars. In Star Wars, you should watch them. Watch episode 1, 2, and 3, and then stop.
You should watch the original trilogy only.
No, you should. You should watch the prequels, and then the most recent one, and then don't watch the others.
Right. Next week we'll think of something. There might be some social media links at the end of this.
No,
If there are, interact
there's
with
not.
them.
There's not. Bye.
Send them in. Bye.